Have thine own way among us today, Father, as we wait. We come here into your house to give you praise, to hear from the throne of grace, Lord, that you, Father, might speak unto us today and give us the truth of thy word, that our souls may feast and be satisfied. Lord, we've come to the fountain of all waters. Oh, you said my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and they've hewn for themselves out cisterns. Lord, but help us that we might come back from the cisterns unto the fountain of the living waters, that we might drink from that well that never shall run dry. And Lord, the crystal clear waters that flows from the throne of grace. Oh God, feed us, we pray, and let us drink today, Lord, and feast upon the body word of the Lord Jesus Christ. We thank you, Lord, for the privilege and the honor that we can come and call upon thee, Lord. Take full control now of this service. Wash us clean today. Make us, Lord, vessels ready and willing to receive of thy truth, that we might be liberated by the word and the Spirit of God. In Jesus' precious name. Amen. Praise be to the name of the Lord God of heaven. Hallelujah. Praise God. that they may reach up and touch your garment. They can feel your virtue, your healing power, your decision making. Whatever it is that they have to decide at this moment, whatever, Lord, is upon their hearts, I commit it now unto thee. Bless them, I pray thee. Help them, Lord, that they may trust in your promises. God of heaven, have thy way now as I commit them all unto thee. Rebuke these problems, commit them unto the blood of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And now we are free to worship thee in spirit and in truth, because our God is on the scene. Have your own way now, in Jesus' precious name. He is my everything. That's right. image of his son. Listen to the melody, praise. Let's go. Number 229, wonderful words of life that he can sing them over again. Hallelujah. The angels of the Lord return rest today. Let's talk about the good things of the Lord. Tell me the old story. Is what I desire every day. Amen. Hear the voice of God. verse 5. Truly the presence of the Lord is here among us, and the Lord is certainly revealed His glory unto each and every one of you. Praise the Lord. I apologize for those who come for the midweek service. Couldn't make it this week because my throat was sore, very sore. It was like it was on fire. But thanks be to God, it's much better today. And the Lord certainly is helping me along. Still have a little bit of hoarseness, but at least you can hear me, right? Yes. Praise the Lord. So that's the important thing. Praise the Lord. I was trying to force myself to be here on Wednesday evening, but at the end I said I just couldn't make it. I had to rest my voice, and so I must apologize to you for waiting so long. I try my best to see if I can do that, but at the end I just decided it was just the right thing for me to do at that time. Praise the Lord. Well, how was your week? Good. Praise the Lord. Good. That's important. So when you come with a joy in your heart, when you come into the house of the Lord, I know you come with great expectations today. I can feel that in your spirit, and so we trust that the Lord will certainly deliver for you today all the great things that He has in store here. Praise the Lord. So there's some great things that I want to share with you today from this Word. Praise the Lord. Show you how the Word of God has come. Surely we get to understand now what the Scripture says when it says, if the Son makes you free, you're free. Amen. Amen. Praise God. Amen. I truly understand what that means. But because He has come to set us free. Amen. Free from what? What do you think He came to set you free from? From sin. And from the law. Because you were bound, we were all bound up with that. Well, not us, but the Jews. But, that's what bounded. They were all bounded by the law. So, He has come to set us free from that law. Apart from sin, because sin was one. The law was one thing, sin was another. Once you get rid of that, see, by fulfilling it, He got rid of it. Amen. As we saw, in the scriptures as we were talking from week to week, that those things were fulfilled. He nailed them to His cross, took them out of the way. Amen. So now we are free. The ball, as they say, is now in your court. What a wonderful thing to know that I don't have to do anything because the law says. Amen. I do it because I want to. Amen. Because I love God. Because I feel like serving God. I am here today not because the law says I should be here, but because in my heart I want to be here. That's the freedom that God has given us. You understand? Now you don't have to do things because somebody says you should. Mm-hmm. Amen. You understand? Mm-hmm. That's true freedom. Mm-hmm. And that is what Jesus came to do. Mm-hmm. To make you free. Glory be to God. I'm so thankful to God today that now He has brought forth that revelation unto us, so that we can truly appreciate the gift that He has given us, the gift of the Spirit, and truly that we can truly come into fellowship with that mystery. Praise the name. Just want to remind you, we'll be here again this Wednesday, the Lord willing. And Bless the Lord. Spoke with Brother Simon this morning. He says to greet you all. And now we just want to go into the Word of God. Yes, there's somebody that wants to say something. Praise the Lord. But if not, we go straight into the Word of God. Shall we all just stand? Yes, God. Hallelujah. Thanks be to God. I just feel like giving God thanks.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah. Praise God. Holy Spirit, thou art welcome in this place. Holy Spirit, thou art welcome in this place. Omnipotent Father, of mercy and grace, thou art welcome in this place. Gracious Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for your grace and healing power. Commit my throat and my illness unto you, Lord, this time. That thou would clear everything up, Lord. And we know Satan does not want me to speak, but God, my faith is in you. You have power to heal and to deliver. And that people may know, Lord, that there is a God, that you truly honor your word. And so, Father, we come today believing and expecting great and mighty things from the throne of grace. We've come to drink from the throne of the living water. Oh God, may we drink and the thirst be quenched. And may we eat from the body word and be satisfied. Commit all things now unto you, Father. Let the people, Lord, may their ears be anointed to hear, and their eyes be anointed to see, and their hearts be made to understand these truths written in your word. May we go forth from this place today, oh Lord, feeling, Lord, liberated, freed from any trappings of religion or anything, Lord, of law and these different things that have been imposed upon us, but to know that in Christ Jesus we are free. We bless you and thank you for the opportunity and the grace, Lord, that you have made these things known unto us. Now in Jesus' precious name, turn the service and the believers over to you, Father, that you might have your way in Jesus' precious name. Amen. Lord bless you. Be seated. Praise the Lord. Like I said, Satan's got a target on my back, I believe. There's so many things that have been happening to me for the past few weeks. So that like I was, my wife and I were saying, I've had more accidents with this car than I've had with so many cars come by. Thank God. After coming home from service at Brother Tony's last Friday night, not this Friday, Friday before, was trying to get home. There's this car just swung right in front of me. I tried to avoid him and got slammed into my side. The grace of God saved me from getting a direct hit. So I am fine. But God is good. Amen. So So he couldn't get into the car, so he asked my voice. But you know, what comforts me is that I know none of these things can happen without God's help. It couldn't happen without God giving him permission. Amen. Bible says the trial of your faith worketh patience. So that we can understand that we are in God's hands. So I say to Satan, let him bring his worst. Death doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. So it's just to release me quickly into the presence of God. But until my job here is finished, I ain't going anywhere. You understand? So it's only when my work is done that God will take me. But Satan has a right to come and try it. Whatever trial comes your way, give God. Don't only want to thank him when your paycheck gets fat. But you must be able to thank him when you don't have two nickels to rub together. In all things, give thanks. Praise the name of the Lord. So today we want to go straight into the scriptures that we want to get put together, all the things that we've been talking about. So we want to start at Matthew chapter 23. Matthew 23. Let's go. And verse 23. Matthew 23 and 23. Let's go. Jesus speaking to the scribes and Pharisees, as we've been talking about. Like I told you, there's not one time in the scriptures in the New Testament that we were ordered or we were told to tithe. Like I've proven to you from the scriptures that tithing was a part of the law. And the law or the ordinances was banned on Jesus' cross. Amen. But the scripture says those things were against us. And tithing was never money. I've proven to you from the scriptures that it was never money. Even though they had money at that time. They always had money. So we get to understand that Jesus is speaking now to the scribes and the Pharisees. Of course, now they are still under the law. A beautiful thought the Holy Spirit brought to me today while I was studying. Jesus was born under the law. Bible says, so that he can save them that were under the law. He had to come under the law. So that he can make available or fulfill that which the law required. And then bring us into this freedom now of grace. So, though he's telling them now about the tithing, remember, he's chastising them. This is under the law. So he says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites. For you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin. They are all herbs. Not one. Mint, anise, cumin. These are all herbs. And so it was never money. So even here in the New Testament, there is no money mentioned.
Même dans l'Ancien Testament, pas de comme dimensionné là en rapport à dîme.
But hear what Jesus is rebuking them about. He says, no, you pay tithes of mint and anise and cumin, and you have omitted the weightier matters of the law. It's under the law. You see that? It's under the law, which means tithes is of the law. You see that? So he's telling, you're doing the tithe part, but you're leaving out the most important part. Tithing was not that important. But God said but when it comes to the weightier matters of the law, he says you should do that and not omit the tithing. And I've omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith.
Miséricorde, la fidélité.
Those are the weightier matters of the law. He said, these these ought you to have done.
C'est là ce qu'il fallait pratiquer.
Which is the judgment, the mercy, and the faith.
Justice,
ought to have done that. He says, and not to leave the other undone, which means the tithing.
Sans négliger les autres choses.
Amen.
So, incluant la dîme.
He's telling them you should tithe, but not leave out the judgment, mercy, and faith.
Mais il ne faut pas laisser ce qui est plus important dans la loi,
that's the name of the Lord.
La fidélité.
So you need not, so he's chastising them because they're keeping one part of the law and leaving out the most important part.
Donc, les différentes parties de la loi qui est important et puis ça qui est moins important, c'est de observer.
I want you to keep in mind this is under the law.
Songez, c'est en bas la loi.
Because that is why Jesus came under the law.
Jésus est venu en bas la loi.
So that he could talk about these things that were under the law.
Pour parler des choses qui sont en bas la loi.
So here he's telling them about this thing. He says, and you ought to have done the right thing, but not to leave out the tithing. But watch this. In the book of Luke 11, Luke
11,
chapter 11,
Luc 11,
that's God. And verse 42, Luke 11, 42. Praise the name of the Lord. Luke 11 and 42. He says, but woe unto you, Pharisees, for you tithe mint and rue and all manner of herbs. You see that? So you see that? They're herbs. So he's telling him you're tithing all these different things. He says, and pass over judgment and the love of God. These ought you to have done and not to leave the other undone. Bless God. Now, in Luke 18, verse 9, Luke 18, and verse 9 from verse 9, Luke 18 from verse 9, hear what he says. He says, and he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others.
Il dit encore cette parabole en vue de certaines personnes.
Two men went up into the temple to pray. The one a Pharisee and the other a publican.
Deux hommes à prier dans ta place.
The Pharisee stood and he prayed thus with himself. God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are.
Il dit, bon Dieu, moi, rends-nous grâce,
I'm not an extortioner, I'm not unjust, I'm not an adulterer, or I'm not even like this publican.
Pas un adultère, pas un injuste, pas un
himself, isn't he?
Pas même comme ce publicain là qui l'a raconté là.
Mind you of anyone? He said, I fast twice a week.
Moi, jeûne 2 fois par
I
semaine.
give tithes of all that I
Moi, paye dîme de tous mes revenus.
By the way, they have now discovered this great thing about fasting. How it's not.
On n'a pas les
When God gave us these things, He never gave it for
Yeah.
just to give you see.
It
It is for health reasons.
Jeûner donc pile bon bagage que le faire on y a là.
Fasting is for your health.
Jeûner bon pour santé.
Absolutely. You see, it works both ways. Hear what he says. He said, I fast twice a week and I give my tithes of all that I possess. So tithing covers the gamut, right? He says, and the publican standing afar off would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. He said, I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalted himself shall be abased, and he that humbled himself shall be exalted.
Publicain, il veut humilier, il dit Dieu, il a miséricorde pour moi-même. Tellement vrai que publicain est plus justifié que pharisien.
I'm giving you these scriptures
Ma bonne écriture,
because people use these scriptures to let you feel that because this man said, I give my tithes of all things. So
bonne écriture, parce que comme il dit que il paye digne de tous mes revenus.
modern day evangelists, they come and they poke these things in your eyes
L'évangéliste
and make you feel that I have to do the same thing. God has never ordained us that we should do tithing because tithing was a part of the law.
Dieu va jamais ordonner pour payer dîme parce que c'était une partie de la loi.
And it was given to the Jews, particularly.
Pour les Juifs seulement.
See? So hear what he says now in Luke chapter 6.
Dans Luc chapitre 6.
In Luke 6, and verse 38. Luke 6
28.
and verse 38. Praise the Lord. He says, let's start from verse 7.
27.
Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Forgive, and you shall be forgiven. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Now, even though we're not ordained or we're not commissioned to tithe and so forth, now we have been left to our own free will, our own decision whether we should give or not give. Not tithe, but give. Free will offering. Understand? So that whatever we do now, whatever we give now to God would be of our own free will. Because of God's blessing on you. So this is why he's saying this. Verse 38, give and it shall be given unto you. You understand? So as you give to God, God gives back to you. This is why he told Israel. See, when Israel under the law were commissioned to give tithe of all their bounty and all their increase and so forth. And whenever they planted, as they gave tithes, whenever they planted or they raised their cattle, so God would bless it. And so those things would multiply a lot. As they gave to God, God gave back to them in bountifully. So they were always able to give to God, and God kept giving to them bountifully. That part never stopped. Because our giving to God, it has always been there. So even though it started in the Old Testament, as when God told them, when they first were to build the temple, he told Moses, take of the people that give willingly. of their own free will. He never commissioned them to take so much from that one, so much from that one, and so forth. He says, let them that give willingly take from them. You understand? So the temple down the earth was built of free will offering. The gold and the silver and so forth, even the workmanship and so forth, everything was given freely. And as the people give to God, God continued to bless them. That blessing of giving to God never stopped. As we can see, it also permeates the New Testament. Of giving to God. See, even corporations today. That is why they give to charity. You think they're giving to charity out of the goodness of their heart. They're giving to charity because they know there's a blessing. And that's why they give. You see, so they understand the power of giving. And so God is telling them, give and it shall be given unto you. Now when you give to corporate persons and so forth, they give back to you, in measure and so forth. But God says, when you give to me, you'll get good measure. Press down, shaken together.
Donnez et il vous sera donné, on versera dans
Good measure.
Une bonne mesure.
I will ram it down. Shake it together. So this means, every available space that you got, I will fill it.
Et qui déborde.
He said, I'm giving you so much. He said, I'm running over.
Qui déborde.
Shall men give into your bosom? They will want to know why people just being kind to you. Oh, this is such a nice person. He was ordered by God to put in the thank God, thank the person, but thank God also. Because that's your blessing. When your boss just calls you and gives you a raise. For you believe for no reason, God's got it. Because you have been faithful. Shall men give into your bosom? He will make them give to you. Not that you will have a pile of money just drop out the sky. Shall men give unto you? He says, into your bosom. For with the same measure that you meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. You see that? Well, how much you give is what God will give back. If you got to rub the edge of your coin, but finally that one is want to make sure you take out the right amount. God said just so he can feel the corners when he got to bless you. Amen. You see what I mean? Amen. So even though we are not ordered to tithe, God says your free will offering, as you give to me, I give back to you. But when I bless you, it's going to be with good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Don't worry. Because he said, how much you give to me, it's how I give to you. Understand? So this is what know that we have free will. Know that we are, we have to decide on what we're going to give to you. You understand? So even though we're not forced to tithe as the law commands, God says, how you give to me is how I give back. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Now watch this. I want you to watch this now. In 1 Corinthians chapter 9. 1 Corinthians 9. First Corinthians 9. Yes, Brother Paul, here in the scriptures, wrote to the Corinthians and was telling them about helping the other brethren.
Paul t'a parlé à Corinthiens pour faire comment pour aider les autres frères.
About doing things for others and for helping your brothers and sisters.
Aider les frères, les sœurs.
Like the scripture says in one place, he says, how can you say you love your brother and sister? He says, Brother Paul said at one place, he says, if your brother and sister in need of a coat, and they come to you, and this Bible says that God, yes, brother, keep trusting God. Pray, trust God. Brother Paul said, can that clothing? Can that give him more? So God will provide, God will provide. Brother Paul said, should not you give to him? So that he can give. That is giving to God. Then you give to your brother. I'll show you in the scriptures. I will show you the scriptures. That is giving to God. Hallelujah. You don't understand. It's not so much now that you gotta be tithing a part of your income. But how you treat each other, how you treat the work of God, that is what God looks at. Now watch the scriptures. Hear what he says now in verse 6 or verse 6. Hear what he says. But Paul was speaking about his apostleship among the people. And he was telling them about, having the power over the people. Being an apostle, how he has power to do, get married or not to get married, to be a brother or sister, whatever the case might be. But what he was letting them understand is that in this work, we have power. So he's telling them, he says, or I and Barnabas have not we power to forbear working. In other words, he says, no, remember what he's saying. He worked. He was an apostle traveling from place to place. And wherever he went, he worked. They were tent makers. And Brother Paul worked by day, preached by night. To sustain himself. Tell some of these preachers that they're pushing things in your ears, telling you, oh, you got to give, you got to give, you got to give, and they sit down and watching TV. Not that they should not be taken care of. I'll show you the scriptures. It's not that they should not be taken care of, but not while they're able. Brother Paul is talking about the same thing here. Hear what he says. So have not we power to forbear working? Can't we stop? He said, me and Paul. He said, can't we sit down, just like the others? He says, who goeth a warfare anytime at his own charge? In other words, if you go out to fight, when any country goes out to war, you don't pay for the war yourself. You got others to do that. Amen. So he says, who goeth about the warfare at his own charge? Who planted a vineyard and eateth not of the fruit thereof? When you take time, you sweat, you dig the ground, you fertilize it, and so forth, you plant your stuff, you're watching and think as it grows. When the thing grows and everything, you won't eat from it? Won't you eat from your own garden? Or you just give it away or sell it to everyone? So Brother Paul is saying, who will plant a vineyard and you will taste the grapes yourself? That's the first thing a farmer does when he tastes what kind of quality the grape has. Hallelujah. So Brother Paul is saying, or who feedeth a flock
and eateth not of the milk of the
Yon
flock.
moun kap gade bèf a mouton ki pa bwen nan let la.
You milk your goats, your sheep, your cows. You milk them. Who don't?
Bwen let la.
It's yours. I mean, you're toiling day and night with your flock.
Tout ka jounen ou avèk bèk la la, wap pran so.
So if you toiling with the flock, he said, it's natural that you would eat from it.
Yon sou bay naturel sou ka
You understand?
let.
The flocks would provide for you.
Ou fou gade bèf e
You understand?
Bon,
So it's not that the ministers should not be taken care of.
sa va bèk di ko pa ka.
Understand? I want you to get this clearly. It's not that they should not be taken care of.
Sa va bèk di pa
With the
supposé
things.
pran soin ministère.
That you give to God. Because that's what they used to do back then. It was for them.
C'est on sa peye a.
Remember that? Right? But the work, the tithing and all that type was for the poor at some time. Remember? There was a certain time every 3 years, right? God told them the tithe and so forth was to come together to feed the poor, the Levites and those within the
Chaque 3 ans, nous devons déclarer dîme pour les Lévites et les pauvres aussi.
Brother Paul is saying here,
Paul dit,
if you're preaching, if you're taking care of the things of God, then the things of God should take care of you.
soin pour travail, mon Dieu,
You
dans la
understand?
consommation de eau.
So the example he was giving, he said, if you got a flock of sheep, and you looking after them every day, you got to tend them and so forth, you will drink from the milk.
Ou élever bête, pour mouton.
So this is what Brother Paul is saying. He said, say I these things as a man, or saith not the law the same also?
C'est pas moi qui a dit ça seulement, mais la loi te dit tout.
See, it's not me just saying it, but I want to let you know the law says the same.
La loi dit
For
ça
what?
tout.
He said, for it is written in the law of Moses, thou shalt not muzzle the mouth of the ox that shreddeth out the corn.
Dans la loi de Moïse, il va pas museler un bœuf capable.
Let's go.
Thou
Thou shalt not muzzle
et capable, un bien bourru,
that shreddeth out the corn.
capable, bye.
Praise the Lord. All right. Let's go. So, what he was saying here is that the law of Moses speaks of the same things. So I'm not just telling you this now, Brother Paul says. But the law says if you got an ox, because what they used to do, they have the corn, and so forth. Some of you may have know about this in Haiti or so forth, back in Guyana. You know that you see they used to have the ox, and what they had was a grinding stone. And they had this huge stone on top of this other thing, and a huge long pole, and they would tie the ox to the pole. And as the ox walk around, the stone would be grinding the corn and so forth on top. So, what Paul was saying, if the ox is working there, then one, he's going to get thirsty, isn't that right? And get hungry. So, if some of the grain fall and the ox eat it, see, if you don't feed the ox, it will be strong enough to grind the stone. So what the corn. Isn't that right? It's the same thing in the ministry. You don't take care of it. He's not going to be able to do for himself and to look after you at the same time. Because as he's toiling for you, if he's not, the needs is not taken care of, if he can't do it himself, if his needs are not met, then he won't be able to come and look after you. You understand? Because like the ox, if you starve the oxen, he will follow because he get weak. But as you feed the oxen, the stronger he is, the more grain he needs. Right? He keeps working all the time. Isn't that right? So Brother Paul is saying, thou shalt not muzzle the mouth of the ox that treadeth out the corn. That's what Moses said. He said, is it because God cared for the ox? The ox.
Did God say that because he cared for the ox? He said, or said he altogether for our sakes. But Paul understood that God told Moses to say that for an example for us. Not only for them. But hear what he says. He says, for our sakes, no doubt, this is written. So that he that ploweth should plow in hope. And that he that thresheth in hope should be partakers of his hope. You understand? Do you understand? See, Brother Paul is letting them understand. He said, now listen, let me put this in your simple language. If the preacher is preaching and he's working himself off to death and he's keep preaching to you, he said, you've got to take care of it. Whatever you give to God, and I'm not mean directly, like come and say, well, Brother Eastman, this. No, that's not what I mean. It means that as you give to God, he is to use from that. You understand? Are you understanding? Yeah. All right. Again, I don't want you to go home and see that you got to go and take care of what he's doing. That's not it. You are giving freely to God. But because the preacher is there laboring in this field, he is entitled. You understand? To utilize from what is given to God, because that's what the Levites had. Their job was to take care of the things in the tabernacle. And whatever was offered to God, they were able to consume. You understand? So Paul is saying here, God said those things for our examples. Hallelujah. Not muzzle the ox. That's right, they come. Alright. Now watch. He that ploweth should plow in hope, and that he that thresheth in hope should be partakers of his hope. He said, if we have sown unto you spiritual things, the gospel, is it a great thing if we shall reap your carnal things? This is what Brother Paul is saying. If we take time to bring to you these spiritual things of God, is it a big deal if we partake of your carnal things? No, you're not working to take care of the preacher. But as God blesses, you give back to God. Those that do the work of the sanctuary, they are committed. You understand? But you don't have to. You do not have to. This is all voluntary. Amen? Amen? Amen. It's all voluntary. But Brother Paul is letting you understand. He says, this is why Brother Paul says, he said, don't I and Barnabas have the power to stop working and just live off the things, that you give? He said, Brother Paul is saying, well, hear what he says as he goes on. If we sow to you spiritual things, is it a great thing if we shall reap your carnal things? He said, if others be partakers of this power over you, and he said, are we, in other words, if other people demand from you that you have to give this, and you have to give that, or you have to pay taxes on this, and they're demanding it from you. He said, how much more? He said, should we not write?
Et si quelqu'un
He gave us spiritual things. He said, nevertheless, we have not used this power, but suffer all things, lest we should hinder the gospel of Christ. So, the very things that you are thinking, they used to think it back then. We didn't want to hinder the gospel of Christ. That's why we work. Because we didn't want to sit down home and everybody working and they just, got your 2 foot up, you're watching TV or you're playing games, you're exercising, you're doing that and so forth. And the people out there, rain and shine, and snow and storm and so forth, and they have to go and work and all you do. You understand? This is what Brother Paul was talking about. We do not exercise this power. He said we can do it. He said we can do it. He said, but we don't want to hinder the gospel of Christ. Because people will always feel, that they got to take care of the pastor. Even though this is a joy, and I've seen this time and again, for those people in the denominations to do, they like that their pastor drive a nice car. They don't like that he wears the best suit and so forth. They don't mind if they're walking in, tatters. Oh my pastor has a beautiful house. And you own roaches running around. You understand what I'm saying? Well, Paul said we can do that. But that is just hindering the gospel. But other people don't concede that. You understand what I mean? And Brother Paul is saying this thing hinders the gospel because then people don't want to listen to what is being told. He said, do you not know that they which minister about holy things live off the things of the temple? We talk about the Levites. They which minister holy things. In other words, they were in the temple. All the things that were offered unto God, they were permitted to use. You remember? Remember that? So he says now, they which do ye not know that they which minister about holy things, they live of, not by. That would people like to say by. It's not by, but of. They partake of the things that are given. They partake of those things. So he said they live of the things of the temple. And they which wait at the altar are partakers with the altar. In other words, the things that are like the wave offering and the shewbread and so forth, all these things that were given up and waved to God, God says Aaron and his sons were supposed to eat that. Isn't that right? Yeah. You see? That's what the scriptures say here. It says, they are which are the altar are partakers of the altar. He says, even so hath the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live. People like to say what? If you live by the gospel, if you preach the gospel, you should live by the gospel. That's what people love to say. People love to say that. You can see that's a misquote. They are misquoting the scriptures. In other words, they're telling you, if I say, love your enemy. Some commandment that thou shalt not kill. Now I must live by that. No, this is just. It's just an example. See, but even though the scripture said we should not kill, I'm not saying this is just an example I'm giving. So they're saying that to live by the gospel, which we should do. But that's not what the scripture is saying over here. He's saying, They which preach the gospel should live of the gospel.
De vivre de l'évangile.
In other words, the gospel should be taking care of them.
De vivre de l'évangile.
Right? Whatever is given to God because of the gospel, and I'll show you that what the message is.
Ouvert à Dieu.
Because you are blessed of God now with this spiritual food, you give to God, and as you give to God, God gives back to you. Push down, press down, shaking together, running over, and so forth. Right? So as the more you give, the more you give. You know, right? So that's how God will do it. But He's not commanding you to do that. You understand? There is no commandment for you to do it. But if you get a blessing of God and you don't return thanks to God in giving back to God, then the blessing stops. You understand? But if you want that blessing to flow, it's a two-way street. You give to God, then God gives back to you. And it keeps flowing that way. You understand? And that's how it keeps flowing. So Brother Paul is letting us understand. He says, even so have the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel. He said, but I have used none of these things. I don't even take from what you give. Because I work. That's why I work, he said, so that I don't have to be a burden to people. Amen. You understand what I'm saying, saints? You see, that is why we work. Because I don't want people to have to say, well, you know, you got to give money to the church and so forth and all this stuff. I don't want to hinder the gospel. I want the gospel must have freedom. I have used none of these things. Neither have I written these things that it should be so done unto me. I'm not saying this so that you can give to me. That's what Brother Paul is saying. He says, for it were better for me to die than that any man should make my glory in void. Amen. That Brother Paul can put his head on a knock at night and sleep because God is my sustainer. Amen. And nobody can point their finger to me. So hear what he says. This is what he says. He said, I would rather die than for somebody to come and make my glory in void. He said, now, for though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of. For necessity is laid upon me. Yea, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. I'm not preaching the gospel because I'm being paid to. I'm preaching it because there is a necessity. God has placed that in my heart. You understand? God has placed that in my heart. So woe is unto me. That's what Brother Paul is saying. I'm not preaching it because they're paying me to do that. You understand? He says, for if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. See that? I'm not, if I'm being forced, if I'm doing it because I have to, there is no reward. But if I do it willingly, then there is a reward. He says, but if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. What is my reward then? Verily, that when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Christ without charge. That I abuse not my power in the gospel. I don't abuse my power in the gospel. Hallelujah. Now, Brother Paul is speaking here now of the reward through ministry. Hear what he says. For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the more. And unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. He said, to them that are without the law, as without the law, being not without law of God, but under the law of Christ. So when he says without the law, he says, I didn't mean that I'm under the law of Christ. Amen. He said, to the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partaker thereof with you. Know ye not that they which run a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that you might obtain. Run so that you might obtain. Not at the end, when you're looking for your reward, God said, you're cast. Run. So that you might obtain the prize in the end. So that you might receive your blessing. Run. Did that understand? Amen. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain corruptible crown, but we are doing it for uncorruptible crown. He said, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, not running. Am I going to do? I'm running with faith and believing out of my heart because of my love for God, of my love for the gospel, of my love for my brethren. I'm doing these things. Amen. He says, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly. So I fight, not as one that does shallow boxing. You know, there's no shallow boxing. You know, no. He said this is a real fight. He said, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I preach to others, I myself should be against them. You understand?
De peur d'être moi-même rejeté après avoir prêché pour
In other words, if I be a hypocrite in telling you one thing and doing something else, at the end, when I come to receive my prize, I will be a caster. You understand? Because I did not do it the way it should be. Amen. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Let's turn now to 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy 5.
1 Timothée 5.
1 Timothy 5. Hallelujah. From verse 1 Timothy 5 from verse 17.
Verset 17.
Let's go. It says, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine.
Que les anciens qui dirigent bien soient jugés dignes d'un double honneur.
So those people that take care of the tabernacle and the things of God and preaching the gospel, they are the ones that are supposed to take care of by the things that are offered up unto God. Hallelujah. He says, for the scripture said, thou shalt not muzzle the ox that treadeth out the corn, and the laborer is worthy of his reward.
L'ouvrier mérite son salaire et tu n'amuseras point le bœuf. Le bœuf quand il foule le grain.
So if the brother is laboring and bringing to you, by bringing to you, every time you have to bring to you and you know, the gospel and do this and do that, where is his reward? He's doing the spiritual thing. You have to do. Isn't that right? Well, Paul said, so if we give to you the spiritual thing, what is it if we reap your reward? So he says now, he says, against an elder receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses.
Ne reçoit point l'accusation comme un ancien, si ce n'est sur la déposition de 2 ou 3 témoins.
Yeah, praise the name of God. Okay. Let's turn to Acts 2. Acts chapter 2. Book of Acts chapter 2. Let me just show you something. Acts chapter 2 from verse 42. Acts 2 40.
Acte 2, 42.
Let's go. Let me show you something. This is from the first church that was set up by Peter. This is from the first church that was set up. And they continued steadfastly, because the Bible says, Peter showed them and told them that he should repent and be baptized in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ and so forth. And it promises unto you and so forth, and to your children, even as many as the Lord our God shall call. And from verse 42 he said, and they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship. See that? And in breaking of bread and in prayers. And fear came upon every soul. And many wonders and signs were done by the apostles. And all that believed were together and had all things. And sold their possessions and goods and parted them to all men as every man had need. In other words, they were taking care of each other. If they saw a brother or sister that is in need or so forth, they would sell, if they have extra possessions or so forth, sell it. They would bring the money and put it at the apostles' feet. The apostle would now go and distribute as the people had need. Many times we were doing things here that I didn't even know that we were following the scriptures. For what you have given, you don't even know some of the things that are taking place. In Mozambique, you have built a church. I must get a picture of that sometime to show it to you. You have built a church, you have built a house, you have bought a car, for brother, you've done things in Jamaica, you've done things in Guyana, you've done things in Barbados, you've done things in, right here in this country. Many a things, not because I know what to say. But this is, I didn't realize that this was. But just because I felt that was the right thing to do, was needed to be done. To take care of your needs. That you have needed and wasn't needed. Amen. This is what the scripture is saying. See, they brought all the stuff, laid it there in the in the church, and then the apostle would distribute as he sees the needs of the people. You understand? That's called. This is how we take care of each other. Amen. Now you're not knowing this, what Brother Paul said, not that you know that a brother or sister is without food or without clothes or without raiment, whatever the case might be, and you just say, let me pray for you. God already provided through you. Once the need was brought to the attention of the apostle, because the people laid up, they brought all the stuff into the storehouse, so that anybody that had need at any time, it was given to them as they had need. You understand, saints? This is not about Brother Eastman. This is about you.
On va parler de vous-même comment pour fonctionner là.
So hear what he says. They had all, they that believed were together, for they had all things, they sold their possessions and goods and parted them to all men as every man had need. And they, continuing daily with one accord in the temple and breaking bread from house to house, they eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved.
Et Dieu ajoutait chaque jour à l'église ceux qui étaient sauvés.
Hallelujah. Blessed be God. Now in 2 Corinthians,
Dans 2 Corinthiens,
let me just go to Mark 12 for a moment, because people
avant tout, on a
love to
Marc
use
12.
this scripture, and they talked about it.
Car quelqu'un qui utilisait l'écriture ça,
Mark chapter 12,
Marc 12,
verse 41 to 44.
41,
It's
44.
about Jesus and the widow's mite. And people, these preachers, they love to bring these things and tell you about it. And they let these people take the last of what they have. Show these poor people these scriptures and you tell them, you see, so give the last. If you give what you got, give the last. Give it to me. And these people have millions of dollars and force people to give everything that they have. And God is going to bless you. Nothing else but murderers. Bible says here, Jesus sat over against the treasury. Now remember, there's not only treasury of money, there's treasury for the tithes, and for the meat, and for the produce, and so forth. There are different treasuries. Right? Understand this. So when it says Jesus sat over against the treasury, it didn't mean that the place where they have collected, just the place they collect the gold and the silver. Though they did give those things also. For the looking after of the temple, for the paying of the masons and the carpenters and so forth. But you also had treasuries for meat and produce and so forth that the ministers and so needed. So he says this. Jesus sat over against the treasury and beheld how the people cast money into the treasury. That's one part, right? And many that were rich cast in much. He was over against that treasury where they were putting in their gold and their silver. And so remember, this is free will offering. So he's saying that the rich ones will give more and so forth. He said, and there came a certain poor widow, and she threw in 2 mites. Which was money. This was money. This was really money. Surely casting what she had. Remember, these people were under a law. She's under the law. And the law is, remember, they had ways of collecting money when we talked about it. They had the redemption tax, they had, and so forth. And God says, the poor shall not give less and the rich shall not give more. So they had different reasons so that they had to give money. And even though she had her last, she gave it, but she gave it with a willing heart. That was her duty. But God said that she should do this. So if God so said for me to do it, then I will do it, and God will take care of it. God always blessed her. So Jesus is watching. He never stopped her, because then he would have been tortured. You understand? Because she was still under the law. You understand? And God, his Father, had told her to do it. You see? So he stood up there and he watched. He said, and there came a certain poor widow, and she threw in 2 mites, which made a farthing. And he called unto him his disciples and said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast more in than all they which have cast into the treasury. He says, because for all they did cast in of their own abundance, but she of her want did cast in all that she had, even all or living. Amen. She was under the law. She was, it's an obligation for her. And the Bible says she did it. She had to do this. I think she casted all that she had. She said that she gave more than them who just gave out of their abundance. Now watch the scripture. Which one were we going to? 2 Corinthians 8, right? 2 Corinthians 8. 2 Corinthians 8.
C'est dans 2 Corinthiens 8.
Praise the Lord. 2 Corinthians 8. Praise the Lord. Beautiful verse. How to beautiful chapter. Praise the Lord. 2 Corinthians chapter 8, reading from verse 1. Now, what Brother Paul is doing here is letting them, these Corinthians, understand what it means. Because remember, in the first church that Brother Peter started, this is what they did. They sold their possessions. Isn't that right? Brought it into the treasury. And they distributed everybody as they had. So they had all things common. Right? Brother Paul is speaking here of taking care of each other, the same and so forth. And he's talking about how the brethren in Macedonia, how they gave to him to give to the other brethren wherever he went. You understand? To distribute to other brethren that had need. He gave to them. They gave to him. Now, remember Brother Paul is letting them understand. One, it is a grace. It is a grace that is deposited into you, created by the Spirit of God. It is also in contrast to the law. It is not like the law. They were giving of their own free will. Not that they were instructed of the law. So the law had a divine requirement because God said that they should. Understand? God required under the law that they give. Christian giving is voluntary. This is what we were saying all the time. This is all voluntary. And it is a test of your sincerity and your love. This Christian giving is a test of your sincerity and for your love for your brethren, your love for the things of God, your love for the work of God, and so forth. And your sincerity towards God. That's Christian giving. You understand? Praise the name of the Lord. And this privilege that we have in Christ is not just for us in one place. It's universal. So it's for everybody, for the rich and for the poor. Everybody. Amen? And the giving is in proportion to your blessing. Your income. You understand? All that Brother Paul will speak of here in chapter 8. Your giving is in proportion to your income or whatever God blessed you with. You understand? Not tithing, but your giving in proportion. Don't go back. You'll see more about that later on.
So because the Old Testament proportion was the tithe. God said a tenth. Right? You see? But the rewards to the Christian now, giving, the rewards now for your giving is joy.
Don't go by.
And increase in your ability to give in proportion to that which is already given. God will continue to give you as you give. You will get a joy and an increase in your abundance as you continue to give to God. That's your reward. You will have increased thankfulness and so forth. And the God will be glorified when you do such things. So hear what Brother Paul is saying now in chapter 8. He said, moreover, brethren, he's speaking to the Corinthians, and he's telling them about what the Macedonians had done. How they were so generous in giving to distribute to the other brethren and to him. Watch what he said. Moreover, brethren, we do you to wit the grace of God bestowed on the churches of Macedonia. How that in a great trial, in a great trial of affliction, and abundance of their joy and their deep poverty, abounded unto the riches of their liberality. In other words, not because they were poor and so forth, and they were going through their own trials. He says, but it made them abound in their giving, their free will giving to others. That's what he says. He says, abounding unto the riches of their giving, even though. He says, now, for to their power I bear record, yea, and beyond their power, they were willing of themselves. Not that I asked them, voluntarily, they were willing of themselves to raise us with much entreaty. In other words, they were begging us. They were begging us to take. He said, that we should receive the gift and take upon us the fellowship of the ministering to the saints. They were so happy with the gospel that was preached to them. They were so blessed that even though they didn't have much for themselves, Paul, I can understand when he saw them in their poverty, he didn't want to take it. He said, but they pressed upon us that we should take the blessing of the. Watch what he said. The fellowship of the ministry. He says, we should take upon us the fellowship of the ministering to the saints. We should take what they're giving us and go get bless somebody else. They're giving us because they were so blessed. They feel to give. To go and help the other brethren. You understand, saints? This is what Brother Paul was saying. He says, even though they were so poor, he said, they with much entreaty they pressed us to take what we're giving them. Macedonia, so that we can go and help other brethren. He said, and to help themselves. He said, and this they did, not as we hope, but first gave their own selves to the Lord. Amen. They were converted first. Give themselves over to God. Repented, done their lives right. Give themselves over to God, he says. And unto us by the will of God. They gave themselves over to the work of God, to the things of God, and so forth. They really turned themselves to do the things that God said that they should do. He said, in so much that we desire Titus, that as he had begun, so he would also finish in you the same grace also.
Nous sommes obligés d'engager Tite à achever chez vous cette œuvre de bienfaisance.
We told Titus that, he should make sure that you have the same grace. Also. Watch. That's what Brother Paul was saying. He says, therefore, as you abound in everything, in faith and utterance and knowledge and in all diligence and in your love to us, see that you abound in this grace also.
De même que vous excellez en toutes choses.
As you get blessed
Ou en parole,
he says, in your faith and in your speaking and your knowledge and in your diligence and in your love, as you abound in this, he said, see that you abound in this grace, the grace of giving. Amen. He says, not only the other things, your love and joy, but those things would lead you to give. Amen. If you are truly converted in your heart, those things will lead you to give. So Brother Paul is letting these Corinthians know that the Macedonians have shown this grace. He said, see, not only that you abound not in your utterance and your giving and your love and so forth, he said, but see that you abound in this grace also. He said, I speak not by commandment. God didn't tell me to do this. Amen. He said, this is not God telling me to instruct you to do this. This is not by commandment. You see that? He says, but by occasion of the forwardness of others, in other words, because of the example that others have set. Amen. He said, and to prove the sincerity of your love. Amen. Hallelujah. You see what I'm talking about? So he says now, for you know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sakes he became poor, that you through his poverty might be rich. Amen. He made himself poor so that you could get rich. He said, and herein I give you my advice. I give you my advice. He says, for this is expedient or urgent for you. He said, who have begun before, not only to do, but also to be forward. And he was telling them about one set of believers. He said they were doing this a year ago. A year ago. He said, now therefore perform the doing of it, that as there was a readiness to will. A readiness to will, a readiness to give, of your own. He says, so there may be a performance also out of that which you have. Out of that which you have. No. For if there be first a willing mind, see that? If there be first a willing mind, it is accepted according to that a man hath. And not according to that he had not. In other words, according to what you got. According to your income, according to what it is, according to what God has blessed you. According to what you have. Not according to go and strain yourself. That's why you see, even sometimes you have to be so careful in these things, because others knowing this, they come and they exploit you. And they will have. That's why you see, I don't take up collection for people. And things, not knowing that it's the scripture. I just hate it. People come in and then you are pressing the people. You don't know what the people are going through. They might have their last and they feel pressure now to give to this brother. And the next thing he took the money when he told you it was to build church or to go and help the brethren down back where he is from and so forth. Next thing you know, he's living large back home. Land as far as your eye can see. Fancy house, cars. They do this. They come here and they lie. They leave where they are, calculating where they're going to go, how much money they're going to make by the time they finish begging through the churches. When they go back there, not a penny is given to anybody. He said, but if there be a willing mind, it is accepted according to that a man had, and not according to that which he had not. For I mean not that other men be eased and you be burdened. In other words, I don't mean that they should not give and you should give all the time. He said no. He says, but by an equality. Just like how you give it, I want them to give, the others must give, and so forth. The same way. But first there must be a willing mind. Amen. He says, but by an equality, that now at this time your abundance may be a supply for their work. You understand? Your abundance might be able to supply because they might be in need of benches in a church, or they might need to build a church, or a brother might need a home, or he might need something else and so forth. All of these things we have done. I never told you, but you were doing these things. I was doing these things in your name. Last thing we did was to help to pay a brother's motorcycle. It's Mozambique, so that he can get around. He said, because he made the excuse, he said, if he gets his motorcycle, he would be able to do work for himself and to take care of his family. One brother wanted a car so badly, he was behind me to get him a car. But why I decided for us to get him the car was because I know he is diligent in spreading the gospel. He so wanted it not for his own use, but to go and to spread the gospel. He goes, I know he goes. He broke on his own car, trying to go and to spread the gospel. That is why I decided, we will give him. Amen. See? But I try to make sure that they don't exploit us. Understand? Because sometimes they don't understand that us here we have to work. You understand? So because they just stay there and they receive it. So it seems easy money to them. I'm working. You understand? And so I let them understand that this has come because of the love of the believers, but this is not